Hey everyone, it's Cam. Welcome back to week 7 of our 7 dimensions of health and wellness. So far we've covered most dimensions of our health and wellness. We have 2 more left to cover. So we still have to cover our occupational and spiritual dimension, as well as dive a little bit deeper into some of them where we were pretty surface level, including the stress management side of things. So today we're going to discuss our spiritual health and wellness and what that means. So just like I say in every video, right? So all of our dimensions of health are very much intertwined, right? The more that we are able to work on improving each one individually, the more balance we're going to have overall and improve our quality of life. So this one specifically, it's going to be very, very unique to each person. Now, oftentimes when it comes to spiritual health, we can find relatedness with a lot of people. So whether that's religion, right? So having other people who have the same beliefs and values as us, even outside of religion, right? So it'd be anything, right? So it's finding, it's connecting with something greater, whether it's a deity, energy, something beyond to really help find that peace and hope within our life. So that could be, a friend who has the similar values and beliefs as us, but it's different in the aspect that it goes quite a bit deeper than our physical health and our intellectual and emotional health, right? So it's really that willingness to seek meaning and purpose in human existence. So it's to question everything around us and to be able to appreciate things that we can't actually see or explain, right? So we might not fully understand something, but we still have that appreciation for it, right? So that's really the idea of it. It's finding that harmony in our lives, right? So whether that is religion, right? So whether your faith and your values and beliefs are deep rooted in a religion, or whether it's connected to, meditation, Tai Chi, yoga. I know for myself, it has a lot to do with nature, right? So getting out there for hikes and connecting with nature it helps me to find that balance, right? And when you're paying attention to your spiritual health, that really helps people to be able to cope with their stress, right? So we're gonna have another video on stress, but that's just one way that listening to what your spirit needs can help with your life, and it also provides that psychological well-being to really help you throughout your day-to-day. And I know that when I go long periods of time, maybe not being able to go out for a hike or connect with nature, I feel that dip, right, throughout my weeks. So same thing with someone who's deep-rooted in religion, right? So usually it'll be routine for them to attend church services, right? So whatever that is. And oftentimes if they find that they weren't able to make it to a church service or a Sunday service, whatever it is, they'll feel that dip within their week. So it's interesting how it can have such a big impact in our lives. So the key here is consistency. So you want to find what works for you and where you find that balance, whether it's in religion, connecting with nature, having some mindful meditation or yoga, right? Or mantras, right? So when you think about people who get up and stand in front of a mirror and have those positive manifestations and positive self-talk, right? That's not something that they're doing just because for no reason, to boost their ego. That's something, it's a great way to improve your health and really instill that positivity in your life. And I also believe that can have a big impact on your day as well. So it's just about like those manifestations, right? Those mantras, it's something that they do regularly. So whatever it is for you, it doesn't have to be something that you do every day of the week. If you don't do it every day of the week, having a consistent day and time that you would do that, right? So even if it's that mindfulness, spending some time alone can be super helpful. And often we can forget that our phones have that little do not disturb button on it. And I know it can be really hard to get away from that, especially with work and such things. But anytime that you know you're gonna have some time to yourself, and you want to try out that mindfulness and that spending your time alone, connecting with yourself, super important to put that phone down, even in another room, do not disturb, or face down somewhere, right? So you're really avoiding those distractions and connecting with yourself. And when I talk about consistency, Sometimes, if you like the idea of yoga and mindfulness and meditation, and you want to use that as a way to enrich your spiritual well-being, if you try it once and say, oh, it didn't work for me, right? It takes some practice to learn how to really relax your mind and learn those breathing techniques. So I'd really encourage you to look into it and learn how to develop those skills and techniques and try it out for a little while before pushing it away, right? So find what works for you and stay consistent with it. It'll be super helpful, and it helps to avoid those little dips. When you think about it, the way that if someone wants to improve their nutrition, right? So they're going to make sure that they're eating foods that are going to nourish their bodies. They're paying attention to what they're putting in their bodies. Same thing with exercise, right? So you want to maintain your strength. You're going to stay consistent with exercise, whether it's at home or in the gym, right? To keep that strength. So it's really important that you're participating in those activities that are going to connect you to those spiritual or religious practices, right? So it's just some tips for optimal spiritual wellness, and then I will let you go. This is also a very surface level video. There's just so much to pack in here. But one, spending some time alone, like I mentioned, regularly, right? So doesn't mean to spend a lot of time alone, right? That can also have an opposite effect. It can be isolating, especially for all of us after COVID, right? But spending a little bit of time alone where you're choosing to spend that time alone and avoid those distractions and connecting with yourself, super helpful. Being fully present in everything that you do. So we talked about this with exercise. When it comes to focusing on what you're doing, focusing on your form, your breathing, right? It really helps to optimize your results in the gym. So that can transition to every area of your life, right? So oftentimes we're too focused on waiting for this, waiting for that, waiting for the weekend, the holidays, summertime. Take a second to learn how to enjoy the moment, right? So if you're hanging out with your friends or your family, focus on being present, right? Learning how to listen and enjoy those moments rather than focusing on what you're going to be doing later that day. So just being present in everything that you do, and also allowing yourself and others the freedom to be yourself and to be themselves, right? So we have this idea sometimes that if someone has different beliefs or values than us, then we can't engage, we can't connect with that person, but that's so far from the truth. So you can have different beliefs and values, right? So if someone has a different belief or value than I do, right, but it's not causing harm to anyone, at the end of the day, it doesn't impact my life in a significant way, neither does theirs. So just learning how to be authentic and allowing other people to be authentic, right? And finding the people who accept you for you. So those are just 3 ways to focus on your spiritual well-being. And remember, stay consistent with whatever it is. And there's so much more to say, but this might be another part 2 as well. So for now, enjoy the rest of your week, enjoy your holiday season, and I will see you next year.